students, now we'll study about the composition of blood. Now the blood is mainly composed of, that is, the main components are blood plasma and the cellular elements. Now students, here the main components are, that is the components are blood plasma and cellular elements. Now suppose start with the plasma or the blood plasma. It forms about the 55 to 60% of the blood. Now further, it is a straw colored, or we can write here light yellow colored fluid. It is a straw colored fluid which forms about 55 to 60% of the blood. Now it mainly provides medium of transport. It is the medium of transport of the different components. Now even in this part, if you will study the composition of the blood plasma, then it is the 55 to 60% of the total blood, out of which about 90 to 92% of it is water. It is watery fluid, that is the liquid. So out of the total component, it's 90 to 92% part of blood plasma is water. Second, 7 to 8% are the soluble proteins. Now, a student, we see in the soluble protein in blood plasma, there are mainly three components. And what are these? First of all, albumin component of the blood plasma. Now this albumin now regulates blood pressure, we can say it actually maintains the normal concentration, hence it regulates blood pressure. Next, globulin. Now it is protective in nature, that is the form of protein of which antibodies are formed. Now next part is fibrinogen, and it helps in blood clotting. So these are the three types of basic proteins found in blood plasma which perform different functions. Now then we see here that 1% is the inorganic salts and others. Now inorganic salts mainly contains sodium chloride and sodium bicarbonates. There are many components also. The other components include the nutrients, that is the carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, hormones, metabolic wastes, and so on. So altogether this is the composition of the blood plasma. And what is its function mainly? So it provides medium of transport of materials. Clear, student? Now after blood plasma, we have to study here about the cellular component of the blood, or we can say the formed element. So the second component of blood is cellular elements. Cellular elements, also known as formed elements. So if it is said that what is the formed element of the blood, then we will say RBC, WBC and platelets. So this is also called formed elements. These are RBC, WBC and platelets. So these are the three basic components. Now we see here, that is, the blood plasma was forming 55 to 60% of the total blood. Now it forms 40 to 45% of blood. Clear, student? So this is the cellular component. Now we have to study about the different components, that is RBC, WBC and platelets in detail. Now we see here, that is the RBC. It is red blood corpuscles. Students, many times we write here red blood cells, but actually its full form is red blood corpuscles. Now RBC is also known as erythrocyte, and according to this part we see that erythrocyte. So here we have to study one term again, that is called erythropoiesis. That is the formation of RBC. Now actually, a student, if we will study directly in paragraph in the form of written material directly, then we will not be able to learn the different topics, points related to it. So here, in order to make it easier, we will study in definite points, and if we'll study WBC on the same basis, we will be able to learn it easily and in comparative way. So now we are studying RBC, erythrocytes. The process of formation is erythropoiesis, and now we will study the different points related to it. That is, suppose first of all we write here, that is its shape. RBC, that is, it is biconcave, disc-like structure. Biconcave disc-like structure. Actually, it is flat in the middle and rounded and thick around near the periphery. So if we'll show here, suppose this is the RBC. Now in the middle there is depression. Now if we'll study it in section, then it will appear like this. So RBC is biconcave disc-like structure. Now we student here again see, that is, after shape we have to study here its size. About 7 micron mu, that is, now we know 1 mu is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Now in human being it is the smallest cell. So this is the smallest cell in human body. Now, student, we see here that is the biconcave shape and the small size provides large surface area, as well as it easily passes through the blood capillaries in single file. So we can write here again, that is biconcave shape and a small size provides large surface area, area for absorbing oxygen, absorbing and transporting oxygen. So it is about its size. Now, third point, just again, just a student recall that we are going to study in definite points that can be used to compare with WBC, and it will be easier for you to learn. Now, number. In adult human being, now it is about 5 million per cubic mm of blood, that is in 1 cubic mm of blood it is about 5 millions. In females its count is slightly lower than in male, that is in female it may be in females 4.5 million per cubic mm of blood. So this is just this number is on an average, but we see here that is in order to carry sufficient oxygen, like that is in pregnant women, now children's at hills, RBC count is increased. In pregnant women, children, and at hills, RBC count is increased in order to supply sufficient amount of oxygen to the cells, because in these two cases more oxygen is required, and here the oxygen concentration is decreased, so it is about its number. Now, a student, we can say here again, next point, site of formation. In adult, RBC is produced in bone marrow. Mainly it is in red bone marrow. So in adult it is formed in bone marrow. Bone marrow of long bones, mainly in ribs, in long bones like femur, humerus, fibula radius ulna, and so on, long bones. In embryo it is also formed in liver and spleen. So in general it is formed in bone marrow, mainly red bone marrow, and in embryo it is also formed in liver and spleen. Now, after the site of formation, here is the site of destruction. Actually, RBC is or blood corpuscles are destroyed where they are synthesized, formed. That is, the older one due to senescence, it is decomposed and they are dying. Site of formation in bone marrow, liver and spleen. Here, a student, we see that spleen is especially known as the graveyard of RBC. So this is the nickname given to the spleen. Now, in liver, when RBC is decomposed, its iron part is retained and the protein part from it is decomposed, that is from hemoglobin. RBC iron part is retained and the protein part is decomposed, remaining part is decomposed to form bile pigments like bilirubin and biliverdin, which are stored in gallbladder and released into the duodenum, where it partly helps in digestion and then removed out of the body through aeration process. So we have studied up to that point, that is the destruction of RBC. Now the next part which we have to study here, that is about the lifespan. So the next point is the lifespan. The average lifespan of it is 120 days. Means that is, it is the average lifespan. And here you see again, a student, that when RBC dies, then it is decomposed in different structures like in liver, in spleen, in bone marrow and so on. Clear? Now one thing, student, we have studied about the average number of RBC, but sometimes the number of RBC is abnormally increased or decreased. So there are two terms related to it. First of all, it is polycythemia. That is abnormally increased number of RBC. Abnormally increased number of RBC. But sometimes due to diseased condition and so on, RBC count is decreased. Then it is called erythropenia. That is, here we write that abnormally decreased number, here abnormally decreased number of RBC. So these are the abnormal conditions in which the number of RBC is increased or decreased. Then it is written as polycythemia and erythropenia. Clear, student? Now, one more important thing which we have to study here about RBC, that is, we have to write here, that is, the question is asked that matured mammalian RBC, is deficient but more efficient. Now what does it mean? Matured mammalian RBC is deficient but more efficient. Matured mammalian RBC, or we can say that is in mammals, The cell which is without nucleus is the RBC. When it is formed, it contains a nucleus, but now as it matures, the nucleus is decomposed or disappear. So what is the reason behind this statement? Now we write here, that is matured mammalian RBC, is devoid of nucleus, mitochondria and endoplasmic reticulum. Now student, this is about its deficiency, but how it will make RBC more efficient in the function? Like you see, the absence of nucleus and endoplasmic reticulum helps in acquiring biconcave shape, as well as it gives flexibility. So it increases surface area. The absence of mitochondria will not allow it to consume oxygen itself, and hence it efficiently transports oxygen to the tissues. So we can write here, that is the absence of nucleus helps in acquiring biconcave shape, increasing the surface area, for transport of oxygen, Similarly, the absence of endoplasmic reticulum provides flexibility such that it can easily pass through the finer blood capillary. And now the next part is, due to the absence of mitochondria, it does not consume oxygen and transport it efficiently. So this is about its specific feature, that is it does not contain nucleus and helps in easy that is acquire biconcave shape. It does not contain mitochondria, hence help in easy transport of oxygen without consuming itself. Now one more thing student, that is the surface of RBC contains hemoglobin which has two components. Hemine means iron and globin, a protein. So it contains, surface of RBC contains hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin is the respiratory pigment which carries respiratory gas, mainly oxygen. So it is the respiratory pigment. Question is asked, name the respiratory pigment present in the blood. Respiratory pigment that mainly transports oxygen. That mainly transports oxygen. So this is about the different components related to RBC. Now student, just we have to study its function. So what is the function of RBC? Although in general we write that it is meant for transport of respiratory gases, but mainly it is required for transport of oxygen. Transport of oxygen. We have studied earlier that student that hemoglobin combines with oxygen in the lungs and forms oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin in the lungs, and when it reaches to the tissues, oxyhemoglobin decomposes and release oxygen which is taken up by the cells. So this reverse process takes place near the tissues. It is unstable compound which is formed according to the concentration. Now we see that when hemoglobin reacts with CO2 that takes place near the tissues, it forms carbaminohemoglobin near the tissues, and it returns back, and in the lungs it decomposes again to release carbon dioxide. But we have studied that mainly CO2 is transported as soluble bicarbonate in the blood plasma. So oxygen is mainly carried by the RBC, whereas CO2 is mainly carried by the blood plasma. This is why we mainly write transport of oxygen. Similarly, we see here, student, that is when hemoglobin reacts with carbon monoxide, it forms a stable product that is called carboxyhemoglobin. This is a stable product, and in this way it reduces oxygen carrying capacity of the blood and leads to suffocation, even leads to death. This is why it is prohibited, it is not advised to sleep in a closed room by burning fire, or that is anything which will produce carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is called the silent killer because it is colorless, odorless, but when inhaled it will cause death of the person. Clear, student? So this is all about RBC. Clear, student? Now, okay.